Question 1. What do Australians expect from new citizens? A. They understand and commit to Australia's core values. B. They give up their old customs and traditions. C. They understand and commit to Australia's core values. Correct answer C. They understand and commit to Australia's core values. New Australians are expected to understand and uphold Australia's core values, not give up their own customs. This includes respecting the law, valuing fairness, and respecting the country's multicultural makeup. Australia welcomes immigrants to embrace these values while keeping their heritage. Question 2. What is the biggest annual public holiday in Australia? A. Australia Day. B. Christmas Day. C. Anzac Day. Correct answer. A. Australia Day. On the 26th of January each year, we celebrate Australia Day. Australia Day is a public holiday in every state and territory in Australia. It is the anniversary of the arrival of the First Fleet from Great Britain in 1788. On Australia Day, communities across Australia reflect on our history and the people who have contributed to our shared achievements. It is the biggest annual public holiday in Australia. Question 3. What is the largest state in Australia? A. South Australia. B. Queensland. C. Western Australia. Correct answer C. Western Australia. Western Australia is the largest state. Perth is the capital city of Western Australia. The east of the state is mostly desert, while the southwest is a rich agricultural and wine-growing area. The state is home to many large mining projects. Western Australia's icons include the Ningaloo Coast, the Margaret River, and the Kimberley region. Question 4. What does the red lower half of the Australian Aboriginal flag symbolise? A. The sun. B. The Australian Aboriginal people. C. The earth and a spiritual relationship to the land. Correct answers. The earth and a spiritual relationship to the land. The Australian Aboriginal flag has 3 colours: black, red and yellow. 1. The top half is black and represents the Aboriginal people of Australia. 2. The bottom half is red and represents the earth and a spiritual relationship to the land. 3. The yellow circle represents the sun. Question 5. What is Australia's national gemstone? A. Topaz. B. Opal. C. Jade. Correct answer. B. Opal. The opal is Australia's national gemstone. According to Aboriginal legend, a rainbow touched the earth and created the colours of the opal. Question 6. How many points does the Commonwealth star on the Australian national flag have? A. 5, B. 6, C. 7. Correct answer C. 7. The Commonwealth star is under the Union Jack. This star has 7 points, each point representing one of the 6 states and 1 point for the territories. Question 7. What is true about jury service? A. Jury service helps to ensure that the court system is open and fair. B. Australian citizens who are on the electoral roll can be called to serve on a jury. C. All of the above. Correct answer. All of the above. A jury is a group of ordinary Australian men and women who listen to the evidence in a court case and decide if a person is guilty or not guilty. Australian citizens who are on the electoral roll can be called to serve on a jury. Jury service helps to ensure that the court system is open and fair. Question 8. Where does government power come from? A. The King. B. The Australian people. C. The elected representatives. Correct answer. The Australian people. Australia has a Judeo-Christian heritage, and many Australians describe themselves as Christians. But there are people in Australia from all the large religions. Australia has public holidays on Christian days, such as Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and Christmas Day. Question 9. What kind of religious legacy does Australia possess? A. Judeo-Christian. B. Buddhist. C. Islamic. Correct answer. Judeo-Christian. The power of the government comes from the Australian people because Australian citizens vote for people to represent them in Parliament. The representatives in Parliament must answer to the people through elections for the decisions they make. Question 10. Which of the statements about the police in Australia is not true? A. They are independent of the government. B. The police decides if a person is guilty or not. C. If the police believe that someone has broken the law, they can arrest them and bring them before a court of law. Correct answer. The police decides if a person is guilty or not. The police maintain peace and order in the community. It is their job to protect life and property. They are independent of the government. If the police believe that someone has broken the law, they can arrest them and bring them before a court of law. The police may give evidence in court, but the court decides if a person is guilty or not. Question 11. Which of the following statements about the laws in Australia is false? A. The courts in Australia are independent. B. People are considered innocent until they are found guilty in a court. C. Judges and magistrates can be dismissed by the Prime Minister. Correct answer, C. Judges and magistrates can be dismissed by the Prime Minister. The courts in Australia are independent. A court will decide if a person has or has not broken the law and decide the penalty. Courts can only base their decision on the evidence before them. In Australia's court system, people are considered innocent until they are found guilty in a court. Every person has the right to be represented by a lawyer in court. Judges and magistrates are appointed by the government, but the government cannot take their jobs away if it disagrees with their decisions. Question 12. In Australia, can individuals be compelled to join an organisation? A. Yes, individuals in Australia are required to join an organisation. B. No, unless the organisation is under government control. C. No, individuals cannot be compelled to join an organisation. Correct answer, C. No, individuals cannot be compelled to join an organisation. Individuals cannot be compelled to join an organisation or forced to leave it. In Australia, people are free to join or leave any group voluntarily, as long as it is within the law. Question 13. What is the different name of the Australian government? A. Commonwealth Government or Federal Government. B. United Government or State Government. C. Federal Government or State Government. Correct answer, a Commonwealth Government or Federal Government. The Australian Government is also called the Federal Government or the Commonwealth Government. The government is made up of members of the Australian Parliament, which has two houses, including the House of Representatives and the Senate. In a federal election, Australian citizens vote to elect representatives to each House of Parliament. Question 14. How did Australia become a nation? A. Following an independence war. B. Using a violent civil revolution. C. Using a peaceful negotiation and referendum. Correct answer. Using a peaceful negotiation and referendum. The process of Australia becoming a nation involved peaceful negotiations and discussions among representatives from different colonies. Over time, these negotiations led to the drafting of the Australian Constitution, which outlined the framework for a federated nation. To further solidify the decision, a referendum was held where the Australian people had the opportunity to vote and express their support for the creation of a unified nation. Question 15. Which department did not the Australian Constitution establish? A. The Australian Federal Police. B. The High Court of Australia. C. The Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia. Correct answer. A. The Australian Federal Police. The Australian Constitution established the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia, consisting of a House of Representatives and a Senate. The Constitution also established the High Court of Australia, which has the ultimate power to apply and interpret the laws of Australia. Question 16. The Senate is sometimes called A. The People's House, B. The Lower House, C. The Upper House. Correct answer, C. The Upper House. The Senate is the other house in the Australian Parliament. The Senate is sometimes called the Upper House, the House of Review, or the States House. Voters from each state also elect senators to represent them in the Senate. Question 17. Australia's system of government can be described as A. Parliamentary democracy. B. Regulated federalism. C. Authoritarian parliament. Correct answer. A. Parliamentary democracy. Australia operates as a parliamentary democracy. Australian laws are determined by parliaments elected by the people. This means that Australian citizens are involved in how the country is governed. The power of the government comes from the Australian people because Australian citizens vote for people to represent them in Parliament. Question 18. What is the national anthem of Australia? A. God Save the King. B. Celebrate Australia. C. Advance Australia Fair. Correct answer, C. Advance Australia Fair. Advance Australia Fair is Australia's national anthem. It is sung on occasions of national importance, including at Australian citizenship ceremonies and major sporting events. Question 19. Which of the following options is a territory in Australia? A. Queensland, B. Southern Territory, C. Australian Capital Territory. Correct answer, C. Australian Capital Territory. Australia contains 6 states including New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania, and 2 mainland territories, including the Northern Territory, the Australian Capital Territory. Question 20. What is the capital city of the Australian Capital Territory? A. Hobart. B. Perth. C. Canberra. Correct answer, C. Canberra. The Australian Capital Territory is located between Sydney and Melbourne. It is home to the nation's capital city, Canberra. Several national institutions are located in Canberra, including Parliament House and the High Court of Australia. Therein, Hobart is the capital city of Tasmania, and Perth is the capital city of Western Australia.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel.